Run it back.
So I'm teaching the three-set close. And I remember when I learned three-set close, it was on a rising star like this one. Right after the first demo that I used a three-set close on was for my cousin Mindy. Her real name is Marlinda Morales Lay, but we call her Mindy. So I did a demo for Mindy, and I remember she was like watching the phone, but I feel like I remember she was sort of a little distracted, but she was still engaging with me, so I didn't really say anything. Went through it, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try this new close. And so I show her the three main sets, as you'll learn that we do. And I don't know why I have the I'm sorry, the rising star slides up. But I show her the three set close. I show her the three sets. She's like, wait, go to that middle one, and then go to that first one. She's like, I can't, I'm between those two. I don't know if I need everything in the complete set. You know what? I'll just do the signature. And so we just did the signature, and I think she added on like a few extra pieces. So I sold the Siggy set the first time I ever showed it. And so what I'm going to do with you guys today is just show you what I do in my demos and how to set it up, and then how to show the three set close. So to start off, whenever you're doing the three set close, you always want to preface it before you actually, at the beginning of the demo. What is this? Oh, I hit share here. Hit slideshow. That's what I wanted to hit. So how you preface it, and you don't need this. This is the trifold that I have taken out and made little pictures of. So what I do is at the beginning of my demos, I say, Mrs. Jones, really quickly, we're just going to overview what we're going to be talking about today. So these are our three main sets, and this part is the verbiage that you can use universally. You don't need these pictures. You don't need a trifold. You can ask Jacob for one if you want one. I believe they're 10 cents. I don't know if he's too stingy about them. But Mrs. Jones, these are the three main sets that Cutco has. So we have our complete set right here. This is the biggest, baddest set we make. It has all the knives that Cutco makes, including our customer requested pieces, all of them. It comes with our shears and 12 of the steak knives. It's for people that it's not necessarily the set everyone can afford, but it's a set that everyone works towards owning eventually because you have all the right tools for the right jobs. Then we have our family set. We came out with this one. It's actually our most recent set of the three up here. We came out with it because we sort of needed an in-betweener between the complete set and the basic set. So this one just has a few of our customer requested pieces and a few less steak knives. It's designed to be, again, an in-betweener. So that's our family set. Then we have our basic set. It's been in our company since the 1950s. Pretty much everybody who owns Cutco already has it. It has the minimum number of tools to get through 100% of the jobs in your kitchen as quickly as possible. And then I'll go on. I like to show them cookware, flatware, just let them preface it, let them know we're going to be looking at it eventually. But what happens is after I use that verbiage, I go down, and once I'm in my close, here's what I do. So I'll be on competitive cutlery. I'll quickly summarize. Say, Mrs. Jones, something costs twice the. If something has, it's been a while since I did a demo. If something has twice the quality and value and lasts forever, you'd expect it to be at least twice the price. At twice the price, you're talking $4,000 for a set of Cutco. Here's what I do. So, Mrs. Jones, as I mentioned before, we do have our three main sets. So this right here is our complete set. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show them all the pieces through the complete set. Not necessarily in depth, but just really quickly to let them know what they're getting into. And I'm also going to concept sell. So concept selling is about just talking about what the idea of this set is. What was the idea this set was made with in order to serve our customers. So that's concept selling. So what I'll do is for the complete set, I'll say, so Mrs. Jones, again, this is the biggest, baddest set we make. It's called our complete set. It has all of your homemaker pieces to the left of this turning fork. So all of this is the stuff we've already covered, like your chef knife, your spatula. But then to the right of it, we have all of our customer requested pieces. So, and just so you guys know, I didn't show this, but I do on my demos show the specialty knives video, which you can use. And it sort of already prefaces the Hardy slicer and a few of the other pieces like the Petite Santoku's in there, the salmon knife. So that way those are already sold. I just re-mentioned them. But If I was just showing it to a customer like this, I'd say, so Mrs. Jones, this is our hearty slicer. This is our bad boy. When you guys barbecue out on the grill in the summers, or whenever on Thanksgiving you have to cut through those tough sweet potatoes, this guy's our bad boy. It'll rip through anything. It's got our double D edge on it, and it's got the weight of a cleaver, so it just goes straight through. Then we've got our Santoku. This is meant to be a smaller chopper, so you don't always have to bring out the big French chef for something a little bit smaller, like a carrot or an onion. Then we have our vegetable knife. This is our squash knife. It's really great for cutting off the ends of a squash and pushing straight through it. And the best part is it's also great for transferring stuff into the pot. So you can use it to chop up your vegetables. You can use it as a mandolin. It's a really great versatile knife that a lot of our customers love. Then we have our cleaver, and you notice these two kind of look the same, but the cleaver is a lot heavier, and you'll see that when you feel it. And if I'm in person with the customer, I'll let them hold both. Now, with the cleaver, Mrs. Jones, that's about 1.5 pounds of steel in your hand. You can use it to flatten meat, but obviously you can use it to hack through anything. For me personally, Mrs. Jones, I use this one to hack through like frozen ground beef whenever I just want to throw it on the pan. I can chop it into little bits. It's pretty fun. Uh, all because of that weight, and it cuts super smoothly. So not something you're necessarily going to use every day, but when you have it, it comes in handy, and you're going to be happy you do. Then we have our salmon knife. Again, I would have normally showed them this one in the video, but I'll just say this one actually flexes at a 45-degree angle, Mrs. Jones. What this one's going to do, it's called the salmon knife, but we actually like to just call it the thin slicer in like the Cutco world. And that's because you don't just use it on salmon. It's actually really great for filleting up all of your watermelons, your cantaloupes, those awkward shapes, because it's so thin, it slips straight through them and you can cut them super easily. And then you can use the flexibility to take off the rind or take off the outer shell. So it's really great for those, Mrs. Jones. Then we have our petite slicer. It's like the regular slicer we talked about before, but this one's smaller, so it's more ideal for like rolls, bagels, smaller breads, stuff like that. And then it's also one you can just have out on the at the dinner table when you have people over for like bread and butter, so everybody can cut off their own bread. Then we have our boning knife. So, Mrs. Jones, this is for your raw meats. What's really great is you really don't have what really isn't great about the homemaker, just so you know. And this way, you're sort of pushing them over. If they do raw meats, they kind of need the complete set. But you're just gonna say none of our other meat knives really are meant for raw meat. They don't work too well on them, but this one cuts great through raw meat. It's the most efficient on it. You can take off the fat. You can cut around the bones. It's a really ideal knife, and it has a super comfortable handle. Then we have our, I'm sorry. Then we have our cheese knife, Mrs. Jones. You remember the holy knife? Ha ha ha. But yeah, nothing. It's great for anything sticky, starchy, or watery. This one has our unique wedge lock handle, so it locks your hand into place, and it's meant for everyday use. You can use it on again anything sticky, starchy, or watery. So like lemons, limes, obviously cheese, potatoes, tomatoes, stuff like that. And then next, what we have are the 4-inch paring knife. So this is meant to be a larger paring knife compared to your small one. The thing is, with our small one, every now and then, Mrs. Jones, it's just not big enough to get through a whole apple. Or if you were to use it on the cutting board, it'd dull out really quickly. And if I'm with a person who already owns, if I'm like at a sharpening appointment and I've seen that they already have this, it's probably beat up. So I always mention that. And I like to really quickly say this is the solution, which is a larger paring knife that you can use in the air, but then flip straight to using on the cutting board for the small jobs. So it's very versatile, and that's why we made it and put it in the set. Then this one also comes with our shears, and you can choose either the steak or the table knives. You get 12 of whichever you choose. And then we have 3 cutting boards and the sharpener that come with this one as well. And this one comes in a block set. Then we have our signature set. So again, everything to the left of this carving fork is your basic set that you've already seen. Then this one comes with the bad boy, so for your racks of ribs. Then we have the petite santoku, which is for your, it's the baby chopper, not for chopping babies, Mrs. Jones, but for like the small stuff like green onions, small jobs where you just don't need to bring out the big chef knife. Then we have the traditional cheese knife, which again, is for anything sticky, starchy, or watery. And this one can come with 10 of the steak or table knives. and it comes with the shears built in. And you can see what the block looks like there. And this one also comes with 3 cutting boards, with 3 cutting boards and the sharpener. Then, Mrs. Jones, we have the one we've been talking about all day, which is the homemaker set. So the homemaker set, it has all the basic tools to get through 100% of the jobs in your kitchen as efficiently as possible. It comes in the block with 8 of our table knives. And yeah, and as I said, Mrs. Jones, in stores, this would be $4,000. So just to preface it, our signature set, it's about like it's a little bit bigger, so it'd probably be $6,000 in stores, and the complete set would be about $8,000 in stores, just so you know, since it's double the size. Now, Mrs. Jones, when you're thinking about what you and your family, or Mr. and Mrs. Jones, when you're thinking about what you and your family would get the most value out of over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, which of the 3 main sets do you think you guys would get the most value out of? And anybody can shout out which of the 3 that they want to talk about.
Mariana, which one do you like the best?
The signature.
Okay, so the signature. That's a great choice, Mrs. Jones. I love that one too. So with the signature set, Mrs. Jones, again, we already went over what you get in all of it as far as the utility pieces. Just so I know, were you thinking the steak knives or the table knives?
Steak knives.
Steak knives. All right. Well, Mrs. Jones, and I give her the price. I would give the price right now, but I don't actually have the new prices in my manual yet, so I couldn't do it. But in that case, you'd give them the price and close. But that's the 3-set close. That's how you preface it, so they get to pick one of the 3 main sets. Good, Jacob? Yes. So now we're gonna role play really quickly. I don't know how you guys want to do this, how we're gonna split it up, but we're gonna role
Give it
play.
up for Dominic. Woo!